Hey everyone, it's Angela with Mystic Moon, bringing you guys a reading today for those of you that are stuck or suffering on a soul connection with another person. Okay, so we're going to name it frozen in time. You feel frozen. It's just something that's just not working out, even though you may have felt at one time, even though you might have been told at one time, or even though you might have been resonating with readings that are telling you that everything is going to be okay with you and this person. It's just flat out not happening. The reality and what really your logical mind is telling you is not matching up with the fantasy, okay? So not everyone is going to resonate with this type of reading. So I would definitely suggest only watch it if you guys are in that energy, okay? So there's some things that I'm going to share about my own personal struggles and experiences right now. So I'll put the timestamp down below for you guys if you want to just go straight to the reading or just stay tuned. So what I want to say first, and I don't really have an outline with what I want to say, so it might be all over the place, is that some of you guys may notice that I'm going through some sort of shifts and changes with the content that I am now putting out. You guys will notice that I'm no longer putting out divine masculine readings, what he's thinking about you, what he's feeling about you, or what your person wants you to know. I've even taken away the weekly soul connection reading. Why am I doing this? Because I've been fighting this for a long time. All of 2021 was very, so basically we're still in 2021, but here I am at the end of the year, finally doing and honoring what I feel is right. And when you do sometimes when you do the right thing, it doesn't always feel right on the outside, but it feels right on the inside. And what I mean by that, you guys, is that for the first time in a very long time, I finally feel positive about what I'm doing. I finally feel like maybe I can make some sort of a difference, a positive shift for people out there that are struggling. Okay? This is not to demonize any other readers that are putting out this content, or absolutely not. This is just my own views and where I'm at with my channel and the mini collective that have been resonating with me. Some people are no longer going to resonate with me, and that is totally fine. You guys will, obviously gravitate to another reader that, might be kind of giving you that sort of material if that's what you're looking for. But I've worked with too many people since 2017 that are lost, heartbroken, and just at the bottom, that are really suffering. And now I'm not a doctor, so I can't give that kind of help to say, this is what you need to do. This is what you're suffering from, etc. All I can use are a couple of cards and use my own wisdom and the messages that I'm getting to perhaps bring forth some kind of information for the viewer. But beyond that, I can't really help anyone that's suffering when it comes to these belief systems, because that's what they are. Now, a belief system is a belief system. It's yours and it's mine, to each their own. I'm not here to argue belief systems at all. But what I am here to say is that any kind of belief system that is keeping you from living your life to the fullest, taking care of yourself and respecting yourself and living a peaceful, happy life, that might be something for you to rethink. And I think that a lot of the people that gravitate towards those readings could be, I'm not saying all, could be stuck on that journey. So right now, I have made a complete shift. I'm no longer focusing with pick-a-cards on my Instagram or any of my, like TikTok. And here, all of my readings that I'm doing now are reflecting just this focus on you, that the person watching the video, and focusing on what you can do to perhaps help yourself in this dark period of time. So you'll see also, if you guys go to my mysticmoonoracles.com, I'm really just offering readings that, again, are based on the person. We're not focusing anymore on that person or bringing messages from that person to you or any of those things. Again, that's just where I'm at vibrationally, and I finally feel like I'm ready to take that leap, which is taking a leap in a direction that might actually look like it's backwards in the physical material world, because let me tell you, it is, okay? But inside, I'm actually taking leaps forward because I finally feel like I'm in alignment with my integrity here. I can't continue to enable people in a negative way, to hang on to toxic people. And not everybody is connected to a toxic person. So regard that message if that doesn't happen to be you. But I'm going to tell you guys, I've been in this community since 2017, dealing with comments, messages that get sent to me, as well as doing personal readings. And I'm going to say almost all people are stuck or hung up on people that do not serve their highest good. They're fighting against the inevitable. They're fighting against letting go. How do I know this? Because I've done it. That's why. It takes one to know one. It takes one to recognize it. And it's not to say that, ooh, now I'm, holier and better than everyone else. It's just that I have had some sort of shift and awakening in my perception of things. And it actually started very early on this journey. So I brought my first twin flame reading to the collective in November 2017. Okay. And I would say, soul work and lessons and all the stuff that has got me to this point now literally started in January of 2018 with the people that I met, with the things that I went through, the experiences that I had with a lot of different people on the journey to where I'm at right now, plus my own situation that actually led me to this whole twin flame concept. For me, it ended up being a wound and a trauma that was unhealed within myself. And even though I was given some sort of divine intervention in April of 2017, which is when I had my spiritual awakening, I gravitated by looking on the internet and seeing, oh, maybe that's what this is. And I really struggled because Mr. Moon and we were married. I had a partner. I wasn't looking to replace Mr. Moon. I wasn't looking to, connect with like an old person from my past. I was looking to understand why I felt this significant energy still. And it just turns out for me, that might not be the case for everybody else, that it was a core wound. And it was something that I had to work through. And in the end of 2020, Mr. Moon and I almost lost each other. And it wasn't due necessarily to this, but it did have an effect where my energy and where my focus was at was not on our marriage. And so that also led Mr. Moon to put his focus on other things. And it literally almost tore us apart. And so at the very end of 2020, I had, I guess, like a wake-up call. A severe wake-up call. And then in 2021, I had like another thing kind of come full circle, another wound that I had, and it all just kind of has just been wrapped up in 2020. So I went into 2021 with this new sense of purpose, this new sense of this is what I'm going to do now. But it was not responded to well. Okay. I immediately started losing followers. I immediately started feeling the shift in how people were responding to my videos. And it scared me. Okay. It really scared me because I had experienced such success and it really just came to me. It felt like such a blessing, but everything just started to feel really, really dark. This entire year I've been going through a dark night of the soul is the only way that I can really describe it. But the thing is, I feel like certain things were just necessary for me to get to where I'm at right now. And sometimes we just have to go through things Sometimes things don't make sense unless certain things happen in a certain way. So that's just where I was at. But 2021 has definitely been one of the hardest years for me. I feel like I went through a spiritual death. And I just lost faith in everything. I lost faith in just people, myself, God, everything. So I literally was brought to like my spiritual knees in a sense. And through that, all of that darkness and just all that emptiness, because that's how I felt. I felt empty on this journey. But there was an immediate reaction. Well, I don't want to say it was immediate, maybe like a couple of months into 2021, where I started to feel like maybe I should go back to some of the older styles of reading, because people were starting to reach out to me and said, you know, Mystic Moon, we really miss these readings that you used to do. You've really helped me. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe that's something that I should do. Let's focus on the divine masculine. Let's focus on messages from your divine masculine, the whole 9 yards. And so as soon as I started posting those types of readings, I did get a little bit of an upswing in activity again. And I felt like, you know, I was making a difference in the community and people were responding to me and all this other stuff. And then I also, for the first time in a long time, because I had gone through hell in friendships, not relationships, but friendships, through 2018 and 19, and also 2020, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and trust again. I'm going to go ahead and open myself up. And unfortunately, that was it was just another lesson. It was more trauma maybe that needed to be healed. The one thing that I can say about it, though, is that I didn't react in a way that I normally would have reacted. And so to me, it showed me that, you know what, maybe I needed to go through that in order to understand how long or how far I've come in just my own, you know, healing, basically. And not like everything's perfect now, because it's definitely not, never will be. But I just had to go through something. But again, it was like more darkness after that. Like, I can't believe this. What do you mean? I don't understand. This community is supposed to be just love and light and all this stuff, but there's so much darkness, right? So I don't want to bore you guys with all of those details, but I'm just sharing this with you because I'm hoping that maybe this can help some of you realize that sometimes where we start isn't really where we end up. And I don't even really know where I'm headed yet. I'm still kind of discovering certain things and growing as I'm continuing to bring you guys readings daily. Okay. It's like I said, some of you guys are still with me. A lot of people are out. Oh yeah. I can see it in the numbers. But the thing that's interesting is that I really feel peace finally. When I look at it, it doesn't hit me in the gut like it used to. Oh my God, I just lost 35 subscribers in one day. I don't know what it, well, actually I do know what it is. For me, it's my reconnection with God. And and there might be people out there that might be very judgmental. Well, if that's the case, then why are you still, screwing around with tarot and blah, 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 and this and that? I'm on a journey right now. Nothing is 100% figured out. And I'm still trying to understand a lot of things right now. So I'm not going to come to you and protest certain things until I'm at that kind of, not full understanding, but I have a good grasp of that understanding. I've seen other people completely rip away from the community and then come back and condemn it. Doreen Virtue did that. There could be other people that have done that as well. It's just not my style. And it's something where I feel to each their own, it's not necessarily my job or my duty to tell you guys what you're connected to is, horrible and wrong and all these things. But that's why I put that question onto you. Do you feel peace? Do you feel, good? Do you feel like you're living your life to the fullest? Do you feel like something is missing? Are you looking to another person to make it all better? Are you hoping and praying for something that is just not happening? Right? So I believe in that question. When we're at that space, something happens to us. And so I guess what this reading is for people that are ready to be open to healing, ready to be open towards perhaps a better path. This path with this person, this path with this journey, this belief system. It's just been nothing but darkness for you. It's been nothing but just a big facade, a big delusion, a big waste of your time. But the thing is, I don't really see anything as a waste of time. I could sit there and say, why was I led down this journey that didn't actually turn out to be what I thought it was? Because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I hadn't have gone through it. So I don't think anything is really a mistake. But I believe that we can utilize a lot of time where we could be spending in peace and happiness in lesson. And for me, I'd rather try to not spend as much time learning things and spend more time just being in, you know, a state of grace and joy and you know, happiness. And life is not all about that either. But I just know that there are a lot of people out there that are absolutely miserable and sad and broken and waiting on empty promises, whether it's from these readings or somebody telling you that person is this to you, this person is that to you. It's freaking nonsense. Nobody can tell you what you are or aren't. It's up to you to make that decision of what you are or what you aren't, or what you're going to believe or take as truth and what you aren't going to believe and take as truth. Nobody is in control of that. People can try to persuade you for whatever reason. Maybe sometimes people even think that they're doing the right thing. But if we're not solid with our foundation, whatever that means to you, we're at the mercy of all of these different concepts and philosophies and energies that are flying around. So what I'm promoting on my channel and, you know, what I'm trying to put through with quotes and things like that is to help people to choose their strength and their conviction and maybe even faith for some of you to just kind of get back to you instead of looking at another person and idolizing that person and worshiping that person that's going to bring you happiness. You're going to end up empty every time. Every time. So anyways, the last part might have sounded a little preachy, but I do feel convicted about what I just said, which is why it's coming across that way. So I'm going to stop talking now. I know I'm going to share more with you guys as I continue on with these readings. And some of you guys are really enjoying that. Others of you, maybe you're just like, I'm out, and that's totally fine. But I'm just going to share as I feel guided to share. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to follow this outline and we're just going to see what spirit, and when I say spirit, I mean God, but sometimes people aren't comfortable with that. So spirit to me is the divine creator. What does the divine creator spirit want you to know about what you've experienced with this situation, this hellish situation that you find yourself in? And what do you need to know about it? What can you take from it? Okay. Let's go into it. We're going to see what is your current vibration and how is it affecting your life. These decks I am going to place down below. I'm also going to place a video. It is from the Crappy Childhood Fairy. Fantastic channel. It's all about childhood traumas, which most of our issues stem from childhood, whether it was traumatic or not. It's just certain things that we were exposed to. But she is going to, or she's doing it's a reading on, not a reading, it's a video on limerence. And limerence is fantasy-based thinking. And I feel that some of you guys might benefit from her channel as well as that particular video. I'm also going to put something down from Dr. Romney where she talks about these magical relationships and how most, you know, these toxic connections or whatever, and just kind of give you her perspective on that. It's all food for thought. You don't need to take it as your 100% truth, but there could be something helpful in it, which is why I'm going to post those down below. Okay. But this is called the Mind and Body Makeover cards. And we're going to see what is your current vibration and how is it affecting your life. Okay, it says things come easier to others. My mind has always been in the clouds. It's very interesting that I just spoke about limerence, which has a lot to do with fantasy. My mind has always been in the clouds. So this to me is telling me here that the vibration is actually stemming from some sort of sadness and disappointment in the past. Okay? And because of the sadness and disappointment in the past, we have developed this need now to fantasize about things because it's easier to live in the fantasy. This is absolutely something that I suffer from. Okay, so this is going to be another personal share. I don't know where it happened, and it's not that I had this horrible childhood, but there had to have been something there where I just was like, it's just much easier to fantasize. I think what it was is I wasn't sure of myself when I was in, elementary school. A lot of my friends with what they were saying or doing, I just didn't feel like if I agreed, then I would be, persecuted or, abandoned or rejected. So I had this ability to just kind of go along with what they wanted. And so I had this fantasy that I was a stronger person. I actually did become a stronger person when high school hit. And then I actually became more like aggressive, strong, which, again, it's like a defense mechanism, but my head was always in the clouds. So I had this, I had this ability to just fantasize about anything and everything and lots of people that I never even met or never even talked to or wished that I could have a relationship with. It was a safe space for me to cope with all of the disappointment of things that I either didn't have the courage or the confidence to go after, or just in any ways that I was feeling rejected. So that's really where limerence comes from. And I'm not a doctor, but that is what my understanding is of limerence. So this is called the therapy flashcards. Let's see what else. So that whole things come easier to others. It's like we didn't have an opportunity to experience certain things. So what we did is instead of maybe developing those skills, we just decided that we're less than and that we'll just take the back seat and just fantasize instead of try to create things and live in reality. So that's what I'm getting from that. Oh, see, didn't I just talk about persecution? That's what it is. So Spirit is using me because a lot of people say like, oh, that's your own stuff coming out in the reading. Of course it is. Anybody that tells you that they're not doing a reading and some of their energy isn't leaking through is just either unaware of it or just flat out doesn't want to admit it. My readings have me all over it. Okay? But there's a reason for it. I believe that Spirit uses us as examples for other people. So my experience with my issues and my insecurities growing up could be some of yours. And if it's not, again, just disregard it. Not a problem. But I feel that what's going on here is that we are afraid. We were afraid of being persecuted. We're afraid of asking for what we truly want. And because of that, we instead live in a fantasy world because it's easier. It's easier to have that person up on a pedestal because this is the thing. And I did this. So when I had this awakening and I suddenly felt like all this love and light and everything and forgiveness towards this person that I had carried around darkness and hate for 10 freaking years, it's like I ended up putting this person on some sort of a pedestal and turning them into something that they weren't. That person was not that person. As a matter of fact, that person and I actually really didn't have that great of a connection, but my recollection of it and my, can't think of the other word where it's something where you just kind of, you think back on it, the memory and everything and the magic of the whole feeling at that time was the only thing that I was focused on. I wasn't focused on the lies. I wasn't focused on the horrible things, how I was actually persecuted by this person and judged by this person, the nasty things that they said. There were so many wounds that were created that I had carried around for so long. And so because of this, and I never got closure, I never even got acknowledgement that this person did these things. I never got an apology, and I still haven't. But that was a wound of mine that I've been carrying around all this time, and I turned it into something magical. And there really wasn't anything magical about it, except for the way that spirit used that to help me to heal and to get to where I'm at now. That magic came from spirit, not this person. I kept misleading myself and putting the magic of this person and this connection as this has blessed my life. And in a way, people are blessings, you know, in disguise. But I was putting way too much emphasis on this. And I feel that's where a lot of people are at with these soul connections. They're placing way too much on this person. They're putting too many eggs in this person's basket, making this person almost idolizing this person, or holding them up in this fantasy world that this person is just this pure energy. And in some way, we all are pure energy, but that human version of themselves is not matching up to that magical unicorn that you have in the sky. It's just not matching up. So we're only deceiving ourselves, okay? Some of us were unfairly judged or unfairly persecuted by this individual or people from our past. So it's easier to live in a fantasy world is what it is. So that vibration is something that we can look at, we can be aware of it, and we can start to work on that, okay? This is my shadows deck. See, yeah, we have projections. So at the end of the day, you guys, we're projecting our own fantasy of what we want it to be. It's a version. And that was actually easier for me to project a fantasy of this person rather than to deal with the harsh reality. The harsh reality was so hurtful. It was so painful. I didn't want to face it. So it was easier to project a fantasy. But also I had to realize through this healing that this person projected a lot of their insecurities and their shadows onto me. So I could sit there and think about all of the horrible things that they said, all the horrible things that they did, and I can really, really take it personally. But at the end of the day, it wasn't personal. This person's just lost in their own darkness. It has nothing to do with me. But it took me a long time to stop blaming this person for all of my misery, all of my happiness. It's not fair that this happened to me. It's not fair that this person gets to move forward with their life with zero consequences. Who am I to say that this person has never had consequences just because they didn't come back and apologize? It doesn't always work that way, right? This is my Midnight Oracle. Okay. Lady Midnight, interesting. So to me, this is like a lady in the shadows. A lady that's up at night, can't sleep, haunted, right? Also wants to use her own energy to control the situation. I really felt that as long as I hated this person, that I somehow had control of their darkness that loomed like a dark cloud. And if I forgave them, that cloud would be lifted. I actually deceived myself into thinking that I was in control of their karma. I got very lost in it, okay? Really, at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff, this is just belief. And if you don't really believe, whatever you put your belief into, it's going to feel real for you, but it doesn't necessarily make it fact. So all we're doing was just hiding. We're hiding the truth. We're hiding from ourselves. We're hiding from that darkness because the darkness is ugly. It just is. It's ugly and it's uncomfortable. And I don't blame people for wanting to hide from it. And I don't blame myself for wanting to hide from it for so long. And that's why when I had that like heart chakra divine intervention where I just felt nothing but pure love and forgiveness for this person, I just misunderstood what I was supposed to do with it. I was supposed to transmute it, not attach a label onto it and then get freaking like stuck in it, you know? But maybe in a way, it was meant to bring me to where I'm at right now. And then wherever this is I'm at right now is meant to bring me to the next step, which I don't know what that is. But it all is happening for a reason. All I know is that we can really misperceive things and take something and turn it into something that it isn't, or turn it into something dark. Anybody can take something positive and turn it into, like, take their own and put their own spin on it and totally screw it up. And that might not be what everybody's issue is, but this is what's coming through the reading. So let's go ahead and stop hiding from the dark. We do have to face it, but this is about really using your energy in a new way. Try not to project your expectations, your traumas, and your issues onto this person. This person is not going to absolve you. This person is not going to heal you. This person is not going to make it all better. There's only one thing that's going to do that for you, and that's something where maybe a part of this journey and healing is leading you to that thing, okay? I know where it led me, but that might not be everybody's path, and it doesn't have to be. So this is my Dark Night of the Soul Tarot. Speaking of a Dark Night of the Soul. Oh my gosh. You see this, you guys? The Fool. Journey of Darkness. This to me is a reset button. You have an opportunity now to really, really face it. To really look at it. And to maybe in a way just kind of laugh at it, because I do that actually. I look back on it and I kind of chuckled to myself. I can't believe I was thinking that like 3 years ago. You know, it's okay. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to, you know, like enough persecution has happened here. It's time to stop. It's time to stop persecuting yourself for maybe everything. It's time to stop taking this person's thoughts about you and creating an identity from that. What this person thinks about you doesn't really hold any power over you unless you let it. It's all about this reset that is possible if you want it. And it doesn't mean it's going to be comfortable. Because just because we decide that, you know what, I'm going to start doing the right thing. I'm going to turn my life over to Jesus or God or whatever. I'm just using that as an example. It doesn't mean that everything is just going to miraculously be okay. There's still darkness and light in the world. And it's a journey that none of us are immune to. I don't care how much you pray. I don't care how much in the love and light and affirmations you do. I don't care how many crystals you put around you. I don't care how many sage bundles you burn or how many spells you cast or rituals you do. We can't escape the darkness of ourselves and of this world and just of other people. But when we put all of our expectations and our faith into other people, I am telling you, you will be disappointed every time. And it doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself with other people, but getting lost and completely immersed, that turns into darkness. When you become obsessed, when you start making excuses by lying or accepting lies and cheating and being a part of third-party situations, you know, even though I didn't technically, you know, enter into like a third-party physical energy, I still had this energy in my life. So to me, that was in a way third party. There was an energy that shouldn't have really been there, but it was. So it took me to come full circle to finally see that, you know what, this is a wound. And this is something that I have finally come to peace with and have put to rest. And that was a part of my spiritual process to get me to where I'm at right now. And that's just all I want for you guys. And that's not to say that who you guys are connecting to is the same type of person or situation that, you know, I experienced. But if it is, then take something from this. That you can come out the other side. That actually what you can see there is that person is going towards the light. But you have to go through that narrow path. It's usually the wide path that's really easy. It's really great because you have all these things that you can do and all these things that you can use to, you know, comfort yourself. But it's usually the tough path that leads to light and leads to healing. The hard way is sometimes the right way. And that's really where I'm at right now on my own journey. Doing the right thing, it doesn't mean that it's going to reflect in the material or physical world. It's not. And if I was still in that dark place, I might just decide to sell my soul once again because I can't part with the money. I can't part with the success. I can't part with, what I've built. But it's not where I'm at anymore. Look at that. The Chariot barricade. So we can stop ourselves. We absolutely can. And you may, on this journey, be tested. So just because you let someone go, just because you think you've wrapped it up, sometimes things come in the form of another lesson or another person, or just some things happen in life. Just because we're right with ourselves, we're right with the universe, we're right with God, we're right with other people, doesn't mean that everything is just going to be perfect. It's not meant to be perfect. That's why I think that a lot of the love and light community, only thinking good thoughts and positive affirmations, like, I get it, but it cuts out so much of the reality of things. It really does. And there's people that might look at me and say, you're not a true light worker. I've had that. Oh God, I've had that persecuted in that way so many times that I have dark cards. Oh, they're demonic. I actually had someone of the love and light community, a big person that, yeah, I'm not going to go into the personal details, but it just used purchased one of my decks and basically did a video and said it was demonic. And I'm thinking to myself, the only thing that's demonic are your own fears and the fears that you have in the shadows that you clearly have not navigated to project that kind of crap onto my deck. It's a freaking deck. It's a tool. These things, none of this has power unless we give it power. So whatever was being given into those cards was coming from that person, not what I created. We can abuse tarot. I don't happen to be one of those people. I don't do personal readings on myself. Okay. There was a time where I was exchanging readings with someone. It was because they wanted to be able to get readings from me. And so they wanted to be able to give something back. And that was the only reason. Okay. It was fun. It was entertaining, but that's it for me. I didn't put all of my faith into what the freaking card said. I took it as guidance. I took it as potential things. Or I even took it as mirroring to me what I already knew. People that put all of their faith into cards or psychics or readers or angel numbers or any of these other things usually end up confused and lost in the end. So you've got to have a healthy boundary with some of this stuff. So the point is, we're going to continue to experience blocks and barricades on this journey. Don't think just because you're finally releasing this person that everything is going to be all is well and love and light and it's just going to be perfect, because that's just not reality. And we have Tyrant. So in a way, we're going to have to fight it like a tyrant. What does that tyrant do? The tyrant fights. The tyrant, you can see, is chained down. Six of Rage, the Six of Wands energy. We can victoriously, because that's really what the Six of Wands is. It's being victorious over your path, being victorious over just things that come through. And it could be that you gain strength from something to help you along the way. And I'm just going to leave that up to you guys to interpret what that means for you. Okay? So that right here is our current vibration. The current vibration, it's not that it's a bad thing. It could be that this is our wake-up call to finally start making some changes that are going to reflect what we want to see in the outside world. And as long as we continue to stay stuck and hung up on a person or in a fantasy or excusing or enabling bad behavior, we're not going to be victorious over it. We can only really be victorious over ourselves and our own life. That's it. So that's where we happen to be. But maybe not everybody. So now we're going to take a look and get the valuable lessons, okay? What are some of the valuable lessons that are actually coming through? Valuable lessons. And I feel like that's something that we just really covered. Those are the lessons, actually. So we're going to go into advice for your journey. What is the advice for your journey? So this is my spirits of darkness and light. Spirit of the scales, karma, justice, balance. I know that there's some of you guys that want justice. Some of you guys feel like things are unfair. Okay. There's something about at night. We had the midnight, the sorceress, right? And night, ghost. Ghost of the past, being sad, melancholy, depressed, maybe even being mentally ill. It's become an obsession. It's become a mental illness at this point. And there needs to be some sort of balance here. Some people are just way heavily into just making excuses. I've seen this. I've witnessed it. I've witnessed people excuse horrific behavior and then slap a twin flame label on it. And somehow it's all going to just magically come together one day because they're twin flames. It's just crazy. It's just absolute craziness. And do I feel that people can learn and change? Absolutely. But there are some people that are so freaking narcissistic, and you can tell by the way that they have zero regard for anyone's feelings at all, and they're pretty much like a sociopath. Those types of people are not going to change. Ever. They're just lost, and that is it. So continuing to be at that crossroads where it's just like, do I move on or do I hang on? Do I move on? That's illness. That right there is going to create somebody to go into like a total state of psychosis where you might just have to check yourself in. So at some point, we've got to balance out this energy. And that's what the advice is. We got to find a way to balance it out. If you're waiting for an apology, if you're waiting for this person to get theirs, or you're waiting for this person to make it right, you're probably going to be waiting forever. Don't waste your time. Do not waste any more of your precious energy and time trying to create that karma. I should know. I thought that by being in this state, this goddess of the night, this sorceress, midnight, Lady Midnight, I thought that by doing that, that somehow I was going to just be this dark cloud that would remain over this person, that they would never be able to forget about me, that they would always be reminded of my energy when things went wrong. I deluded myself with that thought for a very long time because it made me feel powerful. It made me feel like I meant something. I'll never know, really, because I've never heard from this person again. But wouldn't that all be blown to smithereens to find out that this person never cared or never even just thought twice about me? So this is sometimes the lies that we tell ourselves in order to cope. That would be that fantasy limerence energy that needs to just be cleared up. So let's get some tarot on that. This is called the Madame Lydia's Wilhelmina's Tarot. I love that. Ace of Cups. We gotta start filling our own cup. That's just it. We absolutely just have to start focusing on our own cup. We may be looking for this person to fill it. It's not going to happen. I'm not trying to say like it will never happen with this person because I can't predict the future. But as long as you're waiting and this is the energy that you're in, it's just not something that's going to, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to fix you and heal you like the way you think it will. It won't. Yep. So it's just keeping you stuck. You're at the crossroads. See this? As long as you hang on to this ghost from the past, you're going to be stuck in a crossroads. You're never going to be able to fully, properly move forward in a decent, happy, peaceful way in your life. You've got to, it's almost like Spirit is forcing us to have to fill our own cup right now, because if we don't, we are going to continue to remain on this dark journey. which is really leading us to more depression, more sadness, and more emptiness. If you guys feel empty at the end of the day, that is because we are giving all of our energy to this person, and we don't have anything on reserve for ourselves, and that just needs to shift and change. So, this is my Divine Feminine Healing. Yeah, I like this reminder because it does talk about people that alienate from other people. Again, this is their own issues, not ours. And also, if we are hung up and stuck on this person, you know what we're going to do? We're going to alienate everything good in our lives. So we've got to open up the gateway to living again. If you guys have been stuck on this path or this journey with this person for however long it's been, I'm hoping that this reading can be a sign for you that it's time to choose yourself. It's time to choose life. It's time to choose living again instead of existing in the state of darkness. This right here is called Advice from the Divine on how to remove your mask. Okay. This is from Angelic Revelation 144. Love it. So you've got to be present. Period. Period. To worry about the future is to be anxious. To live in the past can lead to depression. Unbelievable. This says depression. This says ghost. To live in the past with a ghost is only going to lead you to depression. To worry about if you'll ever see them again, if you'll ever hear from them again, it's only going to lead to anxiety. The only thing that's going to lead to peace is by trusting that you are in this present moment without this person for a reason. There is a reason that you're not with them. And you just have to trust that. Yep. Another card that says peace. Live in love and peace even among the haters and troubled. So we're not hating on this person. That's not the answer here, is to now villainize this person and say, you're such a pile. I can't believe that I actually thought that you were something of love and light. It's not that. We are still meant to be in a state of peace and forgiveness with this person because we don't want to take that with us. We no longer want to reside in that energy. I resided in that energy for 10 years. I can tell you it wasn't pleasant. It was not pleasant. Okay? But I had to go through it to get to a peaceful state. So some of you guys are being asked to choose the present moment, to choose peace in the present. Try not to live in the past with this ghost that's gone or that's never coming back or that isn't going to change because they're very troubled. They're very lost right now. You can't change them. You can't love darkness out of someone. You can't will it to happen. There's only one thing that can do that, and it's not you. Bitterness. Yeah, this is the thing. We definitely don't want to take this hate energy and bitterness with us. Because remember, you guys, this person and their thoughts about you or their action towards you and all this other stuff, it is because of the dis-ease within them, their own troubles, their own hate, and their own bitterness that is causing them to act this way towards you. It's their own darkness. So don't allow your heart to harden because this person is dark. Knowing that human life is finite, how you can argue and allow your heart to harden. So there's something about human life. Human beings, unfortunately, are dark. Any faith that we put in another human being any person is going to fall from grace, even ourselves. We cannot rely on other people to make it all better. There's only one thing in life that we can connect to that's everlasting. Okay? So don't allow your heart to harden and be in the state of bitterness and hate because of this person. You're meant to choose peace and to move forward. And I did post a post today. It was a quote that was talking about stop enabling people by basically enabling their behavior towards you. Pull away and, choose basically peace. So it was interesting the way that it's coming up. So anyways, you guys, that right there is the message for the advice for your new journey. When you decide to let go of this person, these are some of the things that Spirit wants to share with you, certain concepts to take, certain things to remember, food for thought. So now what we're going to take a look at is a glimpse of kind of like what might be offered here moving forward. This is called the Wild Offering. Wild Offering cards. What's being offered? Calmness. I love it. The inner divine is the witness of all, remaining still and quiet even during intense turbulence. So take a deep breath and then say, quiet my mind, dear Lord. May your peaceful calm take over. Do you see this? Peace has come up now 3 times. It came up here and it came up here. So the advice of that card is to say, quiet my mind, dear Lord. May your peaceful calm take over. So in times of, in times of turbulence, turbulence, bitterness, when these feelings start to surface for you. A lot of people say, I don't know how to stop thinking a certain thought. I don't know how to get to that state to where I'm not, I didn't know for a long time. And all I can say to you guys is that it was a divine presence in my life that took that from me. So I believe, but at that time, I did not relate it to God. I related it to the spiritual, concepts and spiritual things that I had, kind of began my spiritual journey on in 1997. I was completely turned off of God. I was completely turned off of anything that had to do with like Christianity or anything. Oh God, I despised it. My mother didn't help when she had her when she had her awakening in 2010. Oh God, that just like made it even worse for me. But I'm telling you, things happen when you're ready. Things happen when you're really, really just at that time where you're ready to receive it. And I think I said this earlier, I had to be brought to my spiritual knees in order to get to where I am at now. And I still don't know where I'm going. I don't know where this is headed. I'm taking things one day at a time. That's all that I'm doing. But all I know is that I feel so much better than I have in a very long time. So what's ahead of us is peace if we want it. And that's by surrendering and asking God to take over. So some of you guys might be turned off by that. Some of you guys might not want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it for a very long time. But that's just where I'm at. And I have calmness and peace because of it. And that doesn't mean that I can't be pissed off tomorrow. But in this moment, I feel peace. When I connect, I feel peace. It takes over. So anyways, you guys, I hope that reading resonated. I don't know if it did, but it doesn't matter. I'm putting it out anyways. And I just have to just trust that whoever needed to hear it, heard it. And that's all that really matters. So you guys take care of yourselves. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.